Happy Thursday, everybody. Meteorologist Hunter Forst here. Welcome to the Weather Desk, the show that happens on our Plus app every Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. Craig is off for today and tomorrow, so I will be taking over. And we have a few good things to talk about. I mean, we had that major storm system pushing through, the Midwest yesterday and into the East Coast. So we certainly saw a lot of storms pushing through the area along the East Coast, all the way up into New England, all the way down into Florida. We saw some snow in areas in the Midwest. We have a nice warm up coming up next week, so that's something we're going to be talking about as well. And we're also going to talk about the Hampton Roads weather as we go throughout the next couple of days. So let's talk about the storm system that we saw yesterday. Here's our first topic, or kind of a recap of that system that came through. And let's take a look at it now. This is what went through yesterday. That low pressure system's off towards the north out there right now, but it swept through, bringing a line of storms all the way from Florida up into New England. It brought some snow in areas in the upper Midwest as well. And there it is, just a major system. Here's a look at some of those storm reports. And if we could just throw this up there out on the screen, you could really see how many reports were throughout the entire, half of the United States, anywhere from North Dakota, South Dakota, Illinois, all the way to North Carolina, South Carolina, down into Florida, Georgia, Connecticut, New Jersey, all the way up into New York as well. And, while many of us along the East Coast experienced gusty winds and heavy rain, blizzard conditions, snow and wind, creating dangerous conditions. So this led to a pileup on Interstate 35 in Iowa, just north of Des Moines. At least 15 vehicles were involved. Several people were injured, but luckily no deaths have been reported. Now, again, that's just something, to keep in mind whenever you're heading out during the winter. It's just super, super dangerous to be driving out there on the snow, on the ice especially. But again, luckily, as we're heading, deeper into the month of March and we're getting closer and closer to spring, a lot of this snowy weather will slowly but surely start to go away. But again, it's still March, so we still have a couple weeks left of winter, and snow could fall anywhere, especially in the northern areas as we go throughout the month, especially even into April. Those northern areas could still see snow. So just something to think about, as we go throughout the next couple of weeks and get closer to spring and we see warmer temperatures, that you could still see a snowstorm in areas up into the north. So something, to think about as we go throughout the next couple of days. But let's take a look at some of the storm reports along the East Coast. Here we are down in Florida. Daytona Beach International Airport saw gusts close to 60 miles per hour. That was at 1:30 yesterday afternoon. So we saw strong wind gusts all the way up the coast. Now, in Berkeley County, in areas of South Carolina, they saw gusts up to 57 miles per hour. That was around lunchtime yesterday. That was measured at the amphitheater park, the Hanahan Amphitheater Park there in South Carolina. We also saw reports in North Carolina, in Harker's Island, that city, wind gusts up to 64 miles per hour. This was from a thunderstorm that swept through. So not only were we seeing really high gusts from just the synoptic system itself, the whole low pressure system with the cold front and the warm front, we saw strong wind gusts with that, up to 50 miles per hour. But we also saw really, really strong wind gusts from the severe thunderstorms that rolled through all of these areas. So it was kind of like a double whammy. You had, broken tree limbs or already weak trees from the constant winds and wind gusts from the system, but then kind of like a double whammy again as those systems, the severe thunderstorms, started to push through. We also had a possible tornado pushed through areas of South Carolina or of North Carolina yesterday. There's a storm survey team going out there to determine that it could have been an F1 storm, F1 tornado that went through this area, possibly winds up to maybe 90 miles per hour. Again, this morning, the National Weather Service is surveying damage from a possible tornado that was southeast of Charlotte, North Carolina. Power outages and extensive damage were seen in parts of the county, but officials thankfully reporting no injuries. Home and business owners are still assessing the damage as well. Again, the National Weather Service has not yet confirmed if this is a tornado, and some towns in Oklahoma as well are still picking up the pieces after that same storm system brought tornadoes to their region earlier this week. Businesses, schools, and homes were destroyed, unfortunately, in that storm. The National Weather Service says this tornado was blowing, had winds up to 100 to 105 miles per hour at its peak, and was on the ground for 3.7 miles over just 4 minutes. So that just tells you that tornado was moving quickly if it's going 3.7 miles in just 4 minutes. That storm system causing damage across the country. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more.
Whiteout conditions and wrecks across the Midwest as a massive and now deadly storm bears down on the Northeast. This sheriff's deputy in Dallas County, Iowa, hunkered down as the winds howl. Blinding snow causing dozens of crashes on highways across Iowa. A driver spotting this massive pileup on Interstate 35 near Huxley, Iowa. Cars and tractor trailers scattered on the highway. Traffic backed up for miles. Iowa State Trooper Paul Gardner showing the frozen tundra on US 20 northwest of Des Moines. Up to a foot of snow in parts of the upper Midwest. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz declaring a state of emergency. Conditions across the Twin Cities metro deteriorating by the minute. Overnight, a stretch of Interstate 80 near Lincoln, Nebraska shut down for a time after multiple crashes there. First responders racing through the blowing snow to rescue drivers. Meanwhile, torrential rain and powerful thunderstorms slamming the I-95 corridor. Outside Charlotte, multiple buildings torn apart by a confirmed EF1 tornado with 90-mile-an-hour winds. Families in North Texas and outside Oklahoma City cleaning up after multiple confirmed tornadoes touched down in the last 24 hours. And sadly, officials in Mississippi say at least 3 people are dead in the state, including a man electrocuted by a fallen power line.
And with all this talk about tornadoes, you may be wondering what the difference is between a watch and a warning. Meteorologist Taylor Stephenson breaks that down.
During severe weather days, a lot of weather terminology can be thrown at you all at once. A common mistake is mixing up a watch versus a warning. Let's talk about the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning, and another type of tornado alert in the same family. A watch means that conditions are favorable for tornadoes to form. A tornado watch usually covers a large area and can last for hours. Under a watch, this is your time to get prepared for inclement weather. A warning means that the threat for the tornado is imminent. The rotation was either indicated by radar or confirmed by someone on the ground in that area. During a tornado warning, you need to seek shelter immediately. The best places to stay safe during a tornado warning are a basement, an interior room without windows, or a tornado shelter. A warning box is much smaller than a watch box and typically lasts for about 30 minutes. The third type of alert is rare, but when a tornado emergency is issued, there's a severe threat to human life with catastrophic damage expected. For 13 News Now, I'm meteorologist Taylor Stephenson.
Taylor, thanks for that important information on the difference between a watch and a warning. Now, here yesterday in the Hampton Roads area, we did have the chance to see tornadoes. We did have one tornado warning that was right around Wakefield. That was the only tornado warning issued, not looking like there were any tornadoes on the ground, so that's some great news there. But we did have a lot of storm reports around the Hampton Roads area down into eastern North Carolina. In the eastern shore, we saw gusts up to 62 miles per hour. Strong storms rolling through. We saw lightning hit a house in Portsmouth yesterday. So there was a fire response to that due to lightning strike. No major damage, luckily, was reported in that home. Williamsburg Airport gusts close to 60 miles an hour. So certainly just really, really strong storms. Up in Matthews, thunderstorm wind damage, gusts up there were probably around 50 to 60 miles per hour. So there was certainly a lot of winds, a lot of strong winds in the peninsula. The middle peninsula got hit hard, especially by that system. Strong winds toppled power lines and trees in Gloucester County. Crews with Dominion Energy continue to work to restore power to that area. Shane Fordham has a closer look at the damage.
Weather saw gusty winds that downed power lines and trees, leading to many power outages across Hampton Roads. Officials with Dominion Energy say they have crews working around the clock to restore power.
We're working around the clock from not only our field resource perspective, but our folks in the operations center as well. We're fully staffed around the clock and ready to restore safely and efficiently.
In Gloucester County, many residents are now dealing with the aftermath of the storm. One family even had a tree fall through their house. Nearby neighbors recalled the damage.
In the case of my neighbors two down, it's probably rebuilding their entire house. Probably 70-year-old pine went right through the middle of it and barely missed the mother who was home getting ready to pick up her son.
Neighbors say they heard a loud noise before the storm uprooted nearby trees, causing them to fall.
And turned around with my son, and I was going to tell him to go get cover, and I watched the trees across the street come down.
Strong winds and fallen trees can pose a risk to power lines, which can lead to outages. Dominion Energy is advising customers to stay away from fallen power lines and report them if seen. In Gloucester County, Shane Fordham, 13 News Now.
Shane, thanks. And right now, just under 400 people are still without power in Gloucester County. The majority of remaining power outages are in the Richmond area. And that wasn't it for the storm. We still saw reports all the way up into areas in New England, the Northeast. Taking a look at this storm report in New Jersey, seeing gusts close to 60 miles per hour. So all up and down the East Coast yesterday, these storms were packing a punch with winds up to 60 miles per hour pretty much everywhere. So definitely was a pungent system that rolled through. Luckily today, the weather is much better for all of these areas. As we take a look at the satellite and radar out there right now, that system did roll through yesterday, and we're seeing it just off the coast of New England right now. But for the rest of the country, we're looking good. A few clouds out there, seeing a few snowflakes in Pennsylvania and Ohio, a few light showers in the Hampton Roads area this morning, but overall looking much better. It is cooler today. It's also windy. So we still have some wind alerts for areas in the Northeast, Pennsylvania, down into Maryland, western portions of Virginia, West Virginia, and even some high wind warnings in areas along the Appalachians. But here in eastern North Carolina and the Hampton Roads area, no wind alerts for us today, but it's still going to be breezy. We're going to see those gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour as we head into the afternoon. They should come down a bit as we get into Friday, so that's the good news. But again, throughout the day today, we'll see those gusts 30, maybe even 35 miles per hour, but certainly not as high as what we saw yesterday. We're not going to see those 50, 60 mile per hour gusts that brought down those trees. But again, we do have gusts, if we do have gusts 30 miles per hour today, and we still have some limbs out there that are weak from the storms that came through yesterday, these gusts could certainly bring some of those down as we go throughout the day today. Could see gusts anywhere up to 30 miles per hour in Manchester tomorrow, but down here, from Charlotte to Norfolk into Indianapolis, those gusts really staying under about 20 miles per hour. And behind that storm system, much cooler air. We're warmer off into the west, where we're 10 to 15 degrees above where we were this time yesterday. But look for this half of the United States on the East Coast. We're 12 degrees cooler in Norfolk, 15 degrees cooler in Orlando, Cleveland. You guys are 30 degrees colder this morning than this time yesterday. 20 degrees colder in Chicago, 4 degrees cooler in Little Rock, 5 degrees cooler in New Orleans this morning. So we're looking at temperatures in the lower 50s here in Norfolk. So just because that cold front went through doesn't mean it made our temperatures plummet, into the teens and low 20s like we saw this winter. They kind of just dropped to kind of where they should be for this time of year. So it is comfortable walking out the door this morning, even up in New York City at 9 o'clock in the middle of March. We're looking at temperatures in the lower 50s, even Bangor, Maine is sitting at 47 degrees. It's cooler back in Cleveland. It's 28, 19 in Minneapolis, 41 in Atlanta, 56 this morning in Orlando. A chilly start there. 40 in Little Rock, 25 in Omaha, 25 degrees in Green Bay this morning. But again, we're going to see those temperatures rising heading into the weekend and next week. Today's highs are comfortable all up and down the East Coast. Cooler over in Cleveland, Ohio, mid-30s. But look at Boston, cloudy, but in the mid-50s. You'll take that in the beginning of March. 53 in New York, 53 in Raleigh today, pushing 70 degrees, but breezy in the Orlando area. 42 in Chicago this morning. It's 39 in Minneapolis, 59 in Little Rock by the afternoon, 70 degrees in Houston for your high today. That will be feeling nice, plenty of sunshine. Not super hot temperatures or super warm temperatures really anywhere throughout the U.S., kind of moderated. 53 degrees in Denver today, pushing 70 in Phoenix, 56 in Las Vegas. Even Phoenix not even going to be reaching 70 degrees today, and I believe they've already reached their 90-degree mark this year. 53 in Seattle, no rain. That's what you like to see. We are seeing a few scattered showers possible in central to southern California. 56 in LA today, 56 in San Francisco. So like I was saying, we're not seeing major hot temps today throughout the United States, but we do have a nice warm up on the way that will be coming through. Over the next couple of days, we're going to kind of see this zonal flow of the jet stream. So that just means, we're kind of going to see some average, maybe a few degrees above, few degrees below average temps over the next couple of days. But once we get into next week, we're going to see a big trough and a big ridge. And when you get something like that, you get a big difference in temperatures. So it's going to be much colder on the west and much warmer on the East Coast. A big ridge helps bring up all of that warmer air from the south whenever you're in that ridge. So if you like warmer temperatures, that's exactly what you like to see. Over the next couple of days, again, you'll notice kind of average temperatures, especially along the East Coast, maybe a few degrees above, but overall, we'll say kind of where we should be for this time of year over the next couple of days. But here comes those warmer temperatures heading into the start of the work week next week, starting in the upper Midwest, and then a lot of us getting in on temperatures 10, 15, maybe even 20 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. And that's going to linger into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. We can see temperatures on the East Coast back into the mid to lower 70s, especially around here and areas around Norfolk. So something to look forward to if you like the warmer temperatures. But even past that, March 14th through the 20th, still looking like we are going to see above average temperatures for Jersey, Virginia, North Carolina, parts of South Carolina, but all of the East Coast getting in on above average temperatures for the second half of March. And then you'll notice back off towards the west, much cooler temperatures, well below average temperatures as we get towards the middle of March. So that just tells you, that gives you an indication on kind of what that jet stream pattern is going to be looking like. A high, ridge, and a trough. Got that trough here, bringing in all that cooler air from Canada, and then that ridge over the eastern half of the United States, bringing in those warmer temperatures. So if you're curious, though, when we normally see our first 80-degree reading here in Norfolk, actually, the average date is March 21st. So we're getting close to that. Our highest temperature so far this year was back in February, and we got to 79. So we were close, and we could hit it in March. We definitely have the chance. Last year, we hit it March 14th. We were back in February in 2023, March 6th, which is today, actually. 3 years ago, we hit our first 80-degree day. That won't be today. And then towards the end of March in 2021, middle of March in 2020. So definitely March is a big month for our first 80-degree temperature reading. I definitely think there's a good shot there. As for 90 degrees, we normally hit that in the middle of May. Last year, or back in 2023, we hit it in July. So it was definitely late. Middle of May in 2022, May for 2021, June in 2020, 2019 back in May. So again, The middle of May is kind of average on when we first see our first 90-degree day, but that's not going to be most likely for a while. Taking a look at our last topic, a closer look at the Hampton Roads weather. Here are the peak wind gusts, what we saw yesterday. Just a bit of a recap again. 53 Norfolk, 46 mile-per-hour gusts in Virginia Beach, 51 in Elizabeth City, 62 Newport News, 59 in Williamsburg. And again, in the southern areas of the Eastern Shore, we saw those gusts up to about 62 miles per hour, 43 in Franklin, 47 in Edenton, 39 in Manio. Here are all those storm reports we saw yesterday in the Hampton Roads area. Certainly just a lot. We saw that lightning that hit that house in Portsmouth. Luckily, there wasn't any damage. The 62 mile per hour gusts in the Eastern Shore, trees down along the peninsula, the 59 mile per hour wind gust at Williamsburg Airport, and then even down in eastern North Carolina, some power lines and trees down from all of those strong and gusty winds. But luckily out there right now, we're just seeing a few light showers and sprinkles, a few clouds out there, but overall going to be a much better day than what we saw yesterday. Here's that storm system out there right now, pushed through, the cold front's pushing through, so our winds are now going to be out of the north and the west. That's what's dragging in the cooler air for today. Here's what we saw in terms of rainfall totals. Just over an inch in Franklin and Suffolk, under an inch in Norfolk, about a little over half an inch in Norfolk, 1.4 inches in Hampton, 0.7 in Virginia Beach, just about a quarter of an inch in Currituck. Wallops Island, though, over 2 inches, so kind of the jackpot there. Actually, Richmond, 2.69 inches. That's the jackpot. 0.65 in Newport News, 0.8 in Wakefield. So a lot of us saw a good amount of rain, and even this whole month we've been seeing a good amount of rain, and also for the last month of February, or last month in February, we were seeing, super cold temperatures. Now we were seeing really warm temperatures towards the end of the month, and then we're kind of back to that, flip-flop. That's kind of what March is like. You see really warm temperatures, really cold temperatures. It's a transition month, and that's exactly what we're seeing. It was a wet February as well, and today and yesterday will add to the rainfall totals that we've seen so far this year. It's a cloudy day out there right now. If you're heading out, taking a live look at our Thompson Creek Window Company sky view, 51 degrees, winds are about 8 miles per hour, and waking up this morning, it was rather comfortable. I mean, we were only in the upper 40s to lower 50s, 49 Virginia Beach, 51 in Norfolk, 49 in Hampton. It was 45 degrees in Ahoskie this morning, and temperatures out there right now still, cool, but could be worse. We are looking at 49 Virginia Beach, 46 in Franklin, 47 in Wallops Island, 52 in Elizabeth City. And compared to this time yesterday, much cooler. We're about 10 to 20 degrees cooler. We're 19 degrees cooler in Emporia, 18 degrees cooler in Franklin, 12 degrees cooler in Norfolk and Virginia Beach, 13 degrees cooler in Elizabeth City and up in Williamsburg this morning. Highs today will be a few degrees below average. We'll be in the lower 50s, about 53, 54 degrees for our high. A chance for a few isolated showers this morning. We'll see some peaks of sunshine as we head into the afternoon, and then temperatures dropping back into the mid to lower 40s by this evening, and we'll be in the mid to lower 30s overnight tonight. It'll be a chilly start to our day on Friday. So it's one of those mornings when you want to get out to the car, start it early, and then make sure it's nice and toasty as you head to work for your Friday morning. Heading into the afternoon, we'll warm it up into the mid to upper 50s. By Saturday, a chance we could see a few isolated showers in areas of North Carolina and the Outer Banks. We should be a bit warmer on Saturday, upper 50s, pushing 60. Sunday, a few degrees cooler, mid-30s waking up. We'll be in the lower 50s by Sunday afternoon. Maybe a slight chance for a few showers as well. But overall, it's not going to be a washout of a weekend. We'll see temperatures rising into the upper 50s to around 60 by Saturday. A late day shower isn't out of the question. And then by Sunday, we drop it back down into the lower 50s. Better rain chances south. So again, in areas around the Outer Banks, eastern North Carolina. But it's kind of a half and half weekend when it comes to temperatures, and that's what it's been like. We've been seeing, warmer temperatures on Saturday and then cooler temperatures on Sunday. But here's our 10-day temperature trend, and we're going to continue to see our temperatures rising over the next couple of days. So low 60s on Saturday, 51 on Sunday, but look at this as we head into the start of the work week next week. It'll be cooler on Monday, but still above average. And then we're in the upper 60s and lower 70s, and it kind of sticks with us heading towards the end of the work week and into next weekend as well. So we'll be, 10 to 15 degrees above where we should be as we head towards the middle and end of next week and into next weekend. Here's our futurecast for the rest of the day today. We'll see those temperatures in the mid to lower 50s, dropping back into the 40s this evening. And as we get into the overnight hours, nice clear skies. That'll help us cool down. We'll be in the low 30s waking up tomorrow. As we get throughout the afternoon tomorrow on Friday, we'll be in the mid to upper 50s for a lot of us. A bit more cloud cover heading into the evening on Friday. Maybe an isolated sprinkle areas further up towards the north, but overall, not a bad end to the work week. Here's our 7-day forecast. 54 degrees for the day today, 57 on Friday. This weekend, daylight saving time, so we're going to lose an hour of sleep. But our sun does set at about 7:07 Sunday night, so that will be great. Looking towards Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, plenty of sunshine and a nice warm-up, temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s. That will be feeling wonderful. Thanks again for joining me today. This was the Weather Desk. We do it every Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. Again, I'm Meteorologist Hunter Forst. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Hunter Forst, HUNNERFORST. And that's it for today. I'll talk more about daylight saving time tomorrow. So stay tuned, and thanks for joining.